and immediately attended to on the ground. Emma-Jayne the focus right now.
I remember thinking, why did I stop so fast? And then I kind of put my hand behind me and I felt the rail and I went, oh, that's not good.
When it's someone you love and there aren't any other options, you just do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, up. And back.
Just different breed. Different breed.
If I want to get back to my best, I need to make sure that the people that are surrounding me know exactly what they're doing, and they're going to rebuild me from scratch to put Emma-Jayne Wilson back to being who I am.
Rosie Curling-Gidden and Emma-Jayne swamping them. Emma-Jayne is back with a win.
Was there ever a doubt in your mind that you were never not going to swing in the net?
Never a doubt, ever. Not a minute, not a second. It's coming. It was slow and steady, but it was coming. No doubt at all. I remember everything. I remember all of it. I had hit the rail with my low back, which did some significant damage to my pelvis and my sacrum. It sort of impacted my sacrum inwards, fractured quite a bit of my pelvis in a few different areas as well. And that was a pretty big concern. The more significant injury was I had actually broken my neck. The velocity of the impact had fractured my C2, I think, pretty significantly.
There were just some really unique elements to her acute care in the trauma. They had, one of the doctors identified her need for traction, and within an hour he assembled an OR team, and they actually did it in the trauma bay, and they got these traction pins into her distal femurs, just to protect the neurological elements involved in that pelvic injury. So to see that unfold, I mean, it's just incredible care. All the while, you've got neurosurgery teams coming to check once an hour to make sure that cervical fracture in her neck was as stable as can be. They were wondering if they were going to have to operate or put her in a halo. And then you've had the ortho team trying to figure out which OR they were going to do this massive pelvic reconstruction surgery. It was incredible to see it unfold. It's not a night I'll forget, not just because the person I love was in great danger, but just so grateful. I mean, the care she got, they literally put her back together.
Injuries, for me, it switches into being part of the job. Like, the recovery is part of the job. So you have to put the same level of dedication, focus, and resilience to that. So my living room became my bedroom. I had a fully automated hospital bed and wheelchair things so that I could shift from one thing to another without putting any weight on the ground, so that those fractures and that damage there to the pelvis could heal. All the while I was neck collar, completely immobilized in my neck to keep that stable and secure. It was slow and steady steps from being non-weight bearing to then I was able to, toe touch, build, a little bit here, a little bit there, and slowly but surely progressed into being allowed to return to normal. Well, that was, taking my first steps again, which was hard, but expected. I mean, I've been in a hospital bed since end of October, and I wasn't okay to be able to do much until, after Christmas. But that was the beginning of the next step.
Feel that?
Yep.
Leveling where your hips are.
Okay.
All right. Come on, you got it. The exercises have gone from extremely basic to waking up some musculature to loading and pretty much challenging her into the position she's going to need to be in sooner rather than later. So she's progressed really, really well. We've got clearance to do work on the neck, so that's recently started. So, you know, now there's all hurdles have been essentially removed, and now it's really, we can go as hard as we can push. Athletes are different. They're wired different. They put in the work different. It's a pleasure to work with, despite it can be yelled at every once in a while. But I know it's all love.
It is, absolutely.
Emma was very much in charge, in a sense, you know. She has such conviction and strength in that sense. So I was never really in control of her care. She was, and we encouraged that because obviously she was quite incapacitated. So it was very valuable for her to remain in control of her recovery.
You know what? I did have control. Healing becoming my job, that's the control. That's the readjustment of the perspective. I don't have control of going out and riding races and riding horses because that's not what the task is. The task is healing, having control over the healing. How am I going to best do my exercises? You know, how am I going to build and build and build? What can I do now to make sure that I'm prepared for that so that I'm one step ahead of where everyone thinks I'm gonna be? That's the control, that's the focus.
All right, Emma, so you've been back in the backstretch for a week now, so how has it been going?
Fantastic. For the level of rehabilitation and where I'm at to make my full recovery, it has been bang on perfect. Been getting on horses and it feels great. Throwing my leg over that first one was unreal. Tad bit overwhelming. It's been 7 months. It was almost 7 months to the day, but it felt so normal. It felt so right. It was beautiful. For me, it was a unique situation where I had to showcase that despite the significance of my injuries, I am back 100%. And there were some people, that, you know, trainers, owners that wanted to have just wait and see. Let's see how this athlete has returned from this injury. Okay, there was no doubt in my mind. Okay, I will show you.
Hi, Emma. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're back, honey. You gotta whip this jockey colony back into shape, girl.
I think I'll concern myself with just me.
Okay.
We'll go from there. Lead by example. Oh, I think Jeffrey wants me now. Let's go chat with Jeffrey Brack.
Here with Emma Wilson, her first ride back since October.
But I mean, the biggest thing that I think maintained throughout all of it was how grateful I was to be back and how supportive the community, you know, everybody, the horsemen on the backstretch, the hot walkers, the horses, the exercise riders, the grooms, the trainers, like it was nonstop as I would walk through the barns, how happy and, you know, appreciative people were that I was able to bounce back. And that I'm extremely grateful for because that built my confidence and you know, it was fantastic to be back.
It was glorious, to be honest. I mean, we weren't standing there crying. We were just thrilled. We were thrilled for her. And it's not like she got up one day and popped into the entries. There was a lot of preamble. You know, we've seen her working out. And, we've seen her recovery. So if anything, it almost felt a little overdue for us.
It means so much. There was the stages throughout the recovery that were significant for the girls and they made it fun, but they kept saying, you're one step closer to normal. I remember when I went and saw, you know, the doctor follow up and I was allowed to take my neck collar off. So we had gotten home from the hospital and the girls came home from school and they came in the house and there I was with no neck collar on. And I had lived in that for like 3.5 months and they were ecstatic that I was one step closer to normal. And that was something that was said quite often at home. You know, the next step, you know, jump in the car, go for a drive, one step closer to normal. Going into work to get on some horses. Did you get on horses today? Yes, I got on horses today. One step closer to normal. In the entries, one step closer to normal. Winning races, one step closer to normal. Like, the simplicity of their perspective was really inspiring.
Off their race. Here's Ready for Show blazing home. It's still Gimme Another in front, but Ready for Show gobbling up the ground. Ready for Show coming to the lead. At the wire ahead, Bob. Ready for Show's come powering in the Canadian Stakes.
Hands up, Em! Hands up! Hands up!
What might surprise people to hear is that actually Emma's quite calm. She has a calmness to her nature, almost a serenity, and it really shows when there's been a setback, for instance, whether that be an injury or a setback at work, or something difficult presents itself to her, whether it be business or training or in the gym or what have you. Emma has a really unique ability to maintain a very calm disposition and employ that. That calm is something that is really, truly behind her resilience, I think. And she uses it so effectively. And I think it's one of her most admirable personality traits, is that serene ability to calmly assess a situation and manage it. I think that does a lot for her as an athlete, and it did a lot for her as a patient.
I wouldn't be here without her. No way. No, I've been through what I've been through, and the conviction that I've had to say, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna overcome this, I'm gonna make this. But I also know that I've put my team, my wife, through something. Not that I can even imagine what she went through. It's totally different. But talk about the resilience that I had to get back out there, the resilience to be able to say, no, go, do what you love, be who you are. I can't even put words to it. That's me speechless or something.
Why come back?
I love this game. Right from day one, like I've always loved this game. I've wanted to be a jockey. I am a jockey. It's something that is me. I love it so much. And that's where I would say take that step to that support system as well, to let me focus on the healing. Let me focus on, you know, the down days. Let them be there. Acknowledge them. Digest it, as well as the good days, using that to motivate you to be,
Thank you.
You know, your best. So really, it was never about coming back and riding races. It was about becoming Emma Wilson again. And that is winning races. That is riding racehorses. So there was never a doubt in my mind.